Hey guys, so another video here just to try and drive a point across that I've always kind of told my clients and came upon it myself. Like I've been susceptible to this too. So basically the topic is, are you mowing your grass while the house is on fire, while your house is on fire? So basically what that means is it's just you haven't prioritized what it is that's going to get you to where it is you want to be, right? So for instance, we have different examples of basically jumping over to one thing while you haven't even done the last thing that you tried, right? You might have jumped on like a keto diet or a carnivore diet. You might have tried fasting, high intensity interval training, carb cycling, like all these things that have been popularized in the past and basically maybe got you to an successful place, but then you weren't able to maintain it, right? So that might not have been the best option for you. So it's just constantly jumping back and forth from the newest, latest, greatest thing, just because somebody, maybe who you admire or who is a celebrity who has tried this and said it's worked, and then you're like, oh my God, maybe this is the missing link to it. And really all it is just you haven't stayed consistent to one thing. That is why you've not achieved what it is you desire, right? Whether that's to lose weight or to gain muscle. So like we have other examples here, like you could really dive into the weeds. There's stuff on like hydrogenated water. Like if you're not drinking enough water to begin with, you should probably prioritize that before going online and buying a $200 hydrogenator just to hydrate your, or hydrogenate your water. Labeling good and bad foods. I felt susceptible to this like way back when. Obviously there is some foods that are not of as great quality as some others, but we shouldn't start labeling things as good and bad because that really creates a problem in the psychology of yourself. And then when you're imposing it upon other people, right? Because sometimes people really take your word to heart and it can really affect the way a person sees things, right? And we don't want to create a bad kind of reaction. So every time we eat a Cinnabon, we feel like we just committed murder and stress about it, right? Because once again, stress is the #1 contributor to all types of mortality, right? So it's like, for example, in my life, like I demonized bread for a long time. Like I didn't eat bread for probably like a little over a year. Like it was crazy just because I thought it was bad. I thought it was going to make me gain weight. I thought it was going to rot my gut out and all this stuff. And like as soon as I started having it again, I really didn't feel that different from when I wasn't having it. So it didn't really affect me, right? But it was all these people pushing this information on me to where I was saying to myself, no, bread is bad, it's bad for me, even though it really wasn't. And I do well whenever I eat any type of gluten, to be honest. I don't have any bad reactions where I have bloating, but maybe for somebody else who's celiac, obviously that's a bad idea. Anyways, going off on a tangent there. So going into these things and just kind of realizing what it is that you're doing, right? You're just hopping around from one thing to the other and you're not staying consistent with your routines. So kind of plowing ahead going forward, some action items you could focus on to maybe get you to the next level where you want to be is, I know it seems pretty simple, but #1, clearly define your goals. What is it you want to do? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to gain muscle? Do you want to live as long as possible, right? Clearly define what it is that is. And then from there, you can, #2, build your routine around these goals. Right? So for instance, like if you want to lose weight, you have to be in a calorie deficit in order to lose weight. There is no other way around that. Like the reason why maybe, let's say you don't count your calories, why fasting worked for you is because look at your traditional day. Like before you were eating for, I don't know, whenever you started eating, let's say it's like at 7 a.m. and you didn't stop until maybe you go to bed around like 11. So you stopped eating at 10 p.m. at night. Right now you set a fasting window from 7 to 7. Now all that food that you were eating prior to doing your fasting, it has now that you're doing fasting, it has put you into a calorie deficit without even you noticing. Therefore, you're losing weight. So it's not necessarily this magical fasting has cured my inability to lose weight. It's just you've put yourself into a deficit without even you knowing it. So #1 thing you could do is just find maintenance calories for what it is that maintains your weight currently, and then just drop it a little bit of calories, and then you're in a deficit. Or vice versa, if you want to gain muscle, you're going to need to be in a surplus. So quantify what it is you're doing, and then begin to be more strategic about how you're going to implement your goal progression, right? So, and then going on to number 3 is just staying consistent. So I kind of just alluded to this, but basically you're not going to get anywhere without being consistent. If you go into a calorie deficit for 3 days, great, you're going to lose weight, and then all of a sudden you just jump off that and do what it is you were doing prior, you're going to balloon back up to exactly where you were. So it's just practicing constantly. Your body loves routine, right? Once it finds a routine, it sticks with it, right? You just have to put in the effort in order to get there. And then once you consistently do that, it'll become effortless. So try not to have your attention grabbed by all these, whatever words that, or methods or procedures or detoxes or cleanses or good and bads and different type of things that kind of pull your attention away just because it worked for somebody else. Do what's going to work for you, and try something that seems as simple as literally counting your calories or going by a macro-based approach where you're consuming a certain amount of macros, and just try that. Try it for a month. See what happens. It might be like, the more you do it, the easier it's going to be to track your food, see how many calories you're intaking, macros you're intaking. So the worst thing you can do is literally the best thing you can do is just stay consistent with it. So that's kind of my little tangent rant. So hopefully this helps you guys out. Just try and stay along the path, and hopefully you'll get to where you want to be. Thanks for listening.